Hi, I'm James. Welcome to Sketching Finance, where we simplify finance through visual storytelling. Welcome back to day 2 of your financial transformation. Yesterday, we upgraded your financial operating system and learned to spot the invisible thief of inflation. But knowing about the thief isn't enough. You need a powerful engine to outrun him. Today, we are going to install a nuclear fuel for your wealth. We are moving from the mindset of a saver to the strategy of a master builder. Are you ready to discover the secret that turns small seeds into massive forests? Albert Einstein famously called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. He said, "He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." Most people spend their lives paying for it through debt, but today you will learn how to earn it. This is the time machine that turns a simple investment into a legendary fortune. We are going to deconstruct exactly how this magic works and how you can trigger its explosive growth in your own life starting today. To master compound interest, you must first distinguish it from its weaker cousin, simple interest. Imagine you invest $10,000 at a 10% annual return. With simple interest, you withdraw your $1,000 profit every year to spend on coffee or dinners. After 10 years, your original $10,000 is still just $10,000. You have effectively sterilized your money, preventing it from ever reproducing. You are working for the money, but the money is not allowed to work for you. Now, look at compound interest. You take that same $1,000 profit, and instead of spending it, you reinvest it. Next year, your 10% interest is calculated on $11,000, not $10,000. Now your money is having children, and those children are having grandchildren. This is interest on interest. Over time, the difference seems small at first, but soon, the growth curve shifts from a slow crawl to a vertical explosion. This is how the wealthy stay wealthy without lifting a finger. Let's look at the engine under the hood. The mathematical formula for wealth is FV equals PV times 1 plus R to the power of N. PV is your starting capital, R is your rate of return, and NN is the number of years. While PV and R are important, notice that N, time, is the exponent. This means that time has a disproportionate impact on your final result. The longer you leave the engine running, the more violent the wealth creation becomes in the later years. Think of it as a snowball rolling down a very long hill. At the top, the snowball is small and moves slowly. You might feel frustrated that it isn't growing fast enough. But as it continues to roll, it picks up more snow and gains more momentum. By the time it reaches the bottom, it is a massive avalanche. Most people quit while the snowball is still small because they don't understand that the magic happens at the end of the hill, not the beginning. You don't need a PhD in math to calculate your future. Professional investors use the rule of 72 to do mental math. Simply take the number 72 and divide it by your expected annual return. The result is the number of years it will take to double your money. For example, if you keep money in a high-yield savings account at 6%, it takes 12 years to double. But if you invest in the stock market at 12%, you double your wealth in just 6 years. If you are a legend like Warren Buffett, earning 20% per year, you double your money every 3.6 years. In a 40-year career, the 6% person doubles their money 3 times, while the 20% person doubles it 11 times. That is the difference between retiring with a modest nest egg and retiring with a billion-dollar empire. The rate of return is your speed, but the rule of 72 tells you exactly when you will cross the finish line of financial freedom. In the professional finance world, we call the first 5 to 10 years the valley of disappointment. Because the growth is exponential, the early stages look almost like a flat, boring line. You save, you sacrifice, and you invest. But after 3 years, your account hasn't grown much. This is where 90% of people quit and buy a new car or a luxury watch instead. They kill their golden goose just before she was ready to start laying eggs. The legendary Charlie Munger once said that the first $100,000 is the hardest, but you absolutely must do it. Why? Because until you reach that critical mass, the interest doesn't feel real. Once you cross that inflection point, the interest starts to outpace your own contributions. You stop pushing the snowball, and the snowball starts pulling you. Your job in these first 10 years is not to be a genius. It is simply to be disciplined enough to stay in the game. Let's look at the cost of delay. Meet Mr. A, who starts investing $2,000 a month at age 20. He does this for only 10 years and then stops. He never adds another penny. Then meet Mr. B, who waits until age 30 to start. To catch up, Mr. B invests $2,000 a month every single month for 30 years until he is 60. By age 60, Mr. A has roughly $6.1 million, while Mr. B, who worked 3 times harder and invested more capital, only has $4.4 million. Mr. A won because he gave his money 10 extra years to compound in the avalanche phase. This is the most shocking lesson in finance. Time is more important than the amount of money you invest. You can always earn more money, but you can never buy back lost time. Every year you wait to start is costing you millions of dollars in your future. If you are 30, 40, or 50, the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. You have 3 levers to control your destiny: principal, rate, and time. Principal is how much you save. This is why we focus on budgeting and cutting lifestyle creep. Rate is your investment skill. Moving from 6% to 15% through education is like upgrading your car to a jet engine. But time is the most powerful and the most fair. Everyone starts with 24 hours in a day, but only the wise start using them early. Don't fall into the trap of chasing a 100% return in 1 month. That isn't investing, it's gambling, and it usually leads to a 100% loss. A master investor knows that a steady 12 to 15% over a long period is the true path to wealth. Instead of trying to force the rate of return too high, focus on lengthening your time horizon. In the long run, the patient investor always outperforms the lucky gambler who crashes and burns. If you're finding value in this video, please consider subscribing. It helps me create more content like this for you. How do you survive the valley of disappointment? You remove human willpower from the equation. At the professional level, we use automatic contributions. Set up your bank to automatically transfer a fixed amount into your 401k, Roth IRA, or brokerage account the moment your paycheck hits. If you never see the money in your checking account, you won't be tempted to spend it. Wealth building should be a background process, not a daily struggle of will. By automating your investments, you turn your financial strategy into a system. This set and forget mindset allows you to live your life while your wealth builds quietly in the background. You are effectively paying your future self first. In 20 years, your future self will thank you for the discipline you automated today. Consistency is the secret sauce that makes the math of compound interest work in reality. Next is the DRIP, the Dividend Reinvestment Plan. When you own shares in great companies, they often pay you dividends. Many amateur investors see a $100 dividend and use it to buy a nice dinner. This is the sterilization of capital we talked about. You are killing the children of your money before they can grow up. Instead, you should activate the DRIP. With DRIP enabled, your broker automatically uses that dividend to buy more shares of the company, often with no commission. This increases your ownership, which increases your next dividend, which buys even more shares. This is how you create a self-sustaining loop of growth. You are forcing the machine to reinvest in itself. Over 30 years, dividend reinvestment can account for more than 40% of the total return of the S&P 500. Now, let's get real. Professionals look at the hurdle rate. If you earn 5% in a savings account, but inflation is 4% and your tax rate is 15%, your real return is almost zero. You aren't getting rich, you are just barely treading water. To truly build wealth, your nominal return must clear the hurdles of both the taxman and the rising cost of living. This is why we aim for the 10% to 12% range. If your investments can't beat the combined force of taxes and inflation, you are doubling your poverty over time. This is why high-yield savings accounts are tools for protection, not for growth. To cross the hurdle rate, you must put your money into assets that have historically outperformed, such as the stock market or real estate. You need an engine that produces more surplus than the system can take away. In the US and Europe, we also face personal inflation. General CPI might be 3%, but the cost of college tuition or healthcare is rising at 6% or 8%. If you have children or are getting older, your personal hurdle rate is much higher. You cannot afford to be safe with your long-term capital. Being too conservative in your 30s is the riskiest move you can make because you are guaranteeing a shortfall in the future. You must choose assets that have the pricing power to stay ahead of these specific costs. Companies in the S&P 500 or NASDAQ 100 are constantly raising their prices to match inflation, which is why their earnings and their stock prices tend to rise over the long term. By owning these companies through index funds like VOO or QQQ, you are essentially tethering your wealth to the most productive engines of the global economy. Compound interest is a double-edged sword. If it works for you, it's a miracle. If it works against you, it's a black hole. In the US, credit card debt has reached over $1 trillion. With interest rates at 25% or 30%, your debt doubles every 2.4 years. This is negative compounding. While you are trying to walk up the hill of wealth, your debt is pulling you down at the speed of a Ferrari. You cannot be a wealth builder if you are a debt slave. Paying off a 25% interest credit card is the single best investment you can make. It is a guaranteed, risk-free, tax-free return of 25%. No stock market in the world can consistently beat that. Before you put a single dollar into the S&P 500, you must kill the debt monsters that are eating your compounding power. Ditch the high-interest debt to free up your engine. Think about it. When you pay off debt, you are investing in your own freedom. In the investment world, a 10% return is great, but it comes with risk. A 25% return from paying off a credit card has zero risk. It is a mathematical certainty. Professionals prioritize debt repayment of anything over 7% because that is the hurdle rate where debt starts winning against the market. Clean your slate so your snowball can finally start rolling forward. Financial expert Dave Ramsey calls this the debt snowball. It's not just about math, it's about psychology. When you clear your debt, you release mental energy and cash flow that can now be diverted into your offensive strategy. You move from a state of defense and survival to a state of growth and conquest. A debt-free person is a dangerous competitor in the market because they have nothing holding them back. What if you are starting late? If you are 45 or 50, you don't have 40 years of N left. In this case, you must focus on the other two levers, P, principal, and R, rate. You must increase your savings rate aggressively, what we call extreme saving. At age 45, you are likely in your peak earning years. This is the time to cut lifestyle creep and dump every available dollar into the engine. Use the catch-up contributions allowed by the IRS if you are over 50. You can put extra thousands into your 401k and IRA. Also, increase your R not by gambling, but by reducing fees and taxes. Switching from a high-fee mutual fund to a low-cost ETF can add 1.5% to your annual return. Over 15 years, that small shift can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars extra. Don't use luck to replace lost time. Use efficiency and capital. You now have the secret code to the universe's most powerful financial engine. Compound interest is a marathon, not a sprint. The first 10 years are for building the foundation. The next 30 years are for enjoying the view. Your homework today. Check your investment accounts and ensure the DRIP, dividend reinvestment, is turned on. Use a compound interest calculator to visualize where you will be in 20 years. You have the mindset and the engine. But there is a silent killer waiting in the shadows, ready to eat your real returns before you can spend them. Tomorrow on day 3, we dive deep into inflation and why your safe savings account might be the fastest way to lose money. Subscribe and hit the bell. I will see you in day 3 as we learn to hunt the silent killer of wealth.